my original roots was selling. I've always been a salesman. I've always been able to go into a room and meet people, find their needs, and then give them the product that best fits their needs. And so selling to me is the basics, just bare bones basics. That's what I always do in a program with. So last week, we have a new sales rep at one of my companies, and they had to go out on a sales call. And they said, hey, can you come with me and can you help me go through this? And for me, I was excited. I was like, oh, I get to go back out in the field. And so I said, yes. So we took off, and ironically, it was the client's meeting was Long Beach. It was in Long Beach, California, and it's 2 hours away from us. And so for us, it was a great time for me to really teach some points, have some open-ended questions, and have kind of almost a roundtable discussion on the drive up to the sale. So she sits shotgun in the car, and I'm sitting there talking, and I said, okay, well, what do you hope to accomplish with this meeting? And she goes, well, sell them a sign. And I said, well, that's a little too basic. What are you hoping to accomplish? And so she started to sit there and look at me. She goes, well, I really don't know. You could tell that she was not fully awake. The coffee hadn't kicked in yet. And she was just trying to give me the answer I want to hear so she can go back to her daydreaming of what was happening. And I wouldn't let her. There's no way. And so we kept poking and prodding and poking. And I finally said, if you don't know what you're going to accomplish here in this meeting is going to be a waste of time for everybody. So you have to have a game plan going into the meeting. What are you hoping to accomplish? So she sat there for a little bit and she goes, well, I want to understand their needs. And I was like, perfect. Number one, hands down, the number one thing. What are their needs? And so I started thinking about that more. And I was like, you know what? I haven't talked about the basics of selling to her. I need to walk her through that. And then after it was done, I said, you know what? This is actually a good podcast. I should be talking about this, the basics of selling, just in general of what's going to happen. So we go up there, we get to the meeting, and I said, this is the key to what the client needs. Now, I'm going to tell you that I'd say almost 50-50, sadly. Been in sales long enough that 50% of the time, your client knows exactly what they need. And 50% of the time, their client does not know what they need, and they will ask you for something that they don't need because they've heard it and they think it's a buzzword. So your job is to really dive into what they're trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish, and then figure out how you're going to help them. So in this particular case, we went up there and I said, what is the name of the business that you are opening up? And I believe it was Cellivate. Cell, C-E-L-L, like cells on your skin. Cellivate. So elevate your cell, your body. And that was the name of their brand. And I don't know if that's their phone, so don't quote me on that. Well, they're opening up a new store in Long Beach. And so I said, what does your store do? What does it provide? What service can people find? And he says, well, we want to teach Wim Hof style of breathing, do some mantras and breathing techniques. So meanwhile, the whole time he is explaining how he's going to lay out his office, how the person's experience is there. And I'm asking all the same questions. What is the experience of that patron? What are they going to feel? What is their vibe? As we got done with that, and as we got done meeting, I actually let him talk for almost an hour. He walked me through everything. He was very excited about it. And of course, I geek out on business, so I was excited too. And we get done, and I said, okay, I know exactly what you need. And I walked him through it. We get done with the meeting, and I tell him what he needs, and I walk him through, and he's just sitting there. His eyes are wide open. And he goes, man, that's exact. Oh, you like took my vision out of my head, and you just told me what it's going to be. And I'm so pumped, and this is going to be great. And I said, and if I were you, a secondary revenue source would be a community where they can talk, they can eat. If you were to sell, high-end smoothies that are good for your body, have like a little patio area outside so they can hang out and just rest afterwards because, you put them in a really good Zen zone. Why just kick them out to the curb? Why don't you have them in a seating area? He goes, that's a great idea. He goes, I didn't even thought of that. And he's moving on and doing great ideas. And, we're going through it all because, let's wind it back. All because we asked, what are we trying to accomplish in the first meeting?